At the age of 64 and on her 5th attempt, Diana Nyad became the first person to swim the 111 miles between Cuba and Key West without a shark cage. In her new memoir, Find a Way, Nyad reveals her life's journey, including her 53-hour swim in shark-infested waters. Diana Nyad, welcome to Evening Edition.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Now, you started doing marathon swims back in the 70s. What drew you to the sport?
You know, I think people are drawn to what they're good at. You know, and so I had a knack for traveling across the surface of the ocean for hours and hours and hours at a pretty good speed. And then, the sport is one thing. The earth is 4/5 water. And I and a bunch of marathon swimmers swam across all those lakes, rivers, and oceans. But Cuba, what drew me to Cuba, that was the special thing. It was never just another swim. You know, it wasn't Manhattan Island or the Bahamas. It was living life large. People had tried since 1950. It was the Mount Everest of the Earth's oceans. And to me, it was dreaming a magical star that would take every ounce of who I am to try to make it across.
You did this, though, at the age when a lot of people are retiring.
Yeah.
So why particularly at that age? Was there something that happened that you said, ah, man, I got to do this now?
I think just reaching 60, I just went into, my mama just died, and I just kind of went into a life reckoning, as a lot of people do. The end is actually in sight. And even though I'm a vital, young 66 today, it doesn't matter. Just count the years. My mom died at 82. Does that mean I have that few years to live? And I just decided if there aren't that many years to live, I'm going to live them, you know, with gusto, with full throttle. And what's going to make me have to dig down like that? My old dream, Cuba, that I had tried when I was 28 and didn't make. And I thought, I'm going to go back and chase that dream.
You
I'm
tried
gonna be
4 times.
Fully alert. I have tried quite a bit. So, yeah, it's a wild, vast wilderness out there. There's a lot of Mother Nature happening. So I tried 4 times before the 5th magical one came.
Now, when you emerged from the ocean onto the beach at Key West, you had 3 messages. Here's what you said that day in 2013.
I got 3 messages. One is, we should never, ever give up. Okay. 2 is, you're never too old to chase your dreams. That's right. Amen, sister. 3 is, it looks like a solitary sport, but it's a team.
So never give up. You're
Yes.
never too old, and it's not a solitary sport.
There you go.
Why those 3 messages after this long
I tell
journey?
you, Peggy, after all this training, always I had kind of an ego, like, what will I say? What will be the oration when I finally reach that store? But it didn't work out that way. I never thought of those things. They just came out, but they were the authentic messages that I carried with me in questing after this.
Speaking of authentic, your book reveals some sexual abuse from your father and by a swim coach. What effect did that have on your life's decisions?
You know, it's a dichotomy. In some ways, deep. You know, you can only be the person you are. I didn't suffer through the Holocaust, and I don't compare myself to people who have suffered much more than I have. Believe me. On the other hand, it's my life, and I have to just speak of and experience what I experienced. So that sexual abuse has run deep. It's an imprint. Even though I'm a pretty darn happy, together, successful person, but I can't deny that little hurt girl is still in there somewhere. So I think it is a deep imprint, and that's the reason I talk about it, so that other little kids can say, you know what, I'm at least going to speak up when this happens rather than stay silent all the time.
Now, photos in your book include a painful-looking aftermath of your run-in with a jellyfish. What kind of toll did this 53 hours of swimming have on your body? Well,
that particular run-in, it's the box jellyfish. There are thousands of species of jellyfish. None of them are pleasant, but that one you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. That's life or death. And I would say at that moment, being stung in 2011 all over, a swarm of jellyfish, I could have died that night. So, you know, that was the ultimate in sort of the hardship of the swim. The rest of it is, you know, hallucinations and hypothermia and joy and awe. You know, it's an extreme world out there, and in some ways I'm going to miss it.
Well, quite a book you've written about it, and people can read all about it. Marathon swimmer and author Diana Nyad, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.